I'm Patrick Borchert. My presentation is on voice and narrative. The voice is everything in writing. It is not just what the characters say, but it is also what the piece itself is saying. Stephen King says in On Writing, this description begins in the writer's imagination but finishes in the reader's mind. And Utley explains that voice is the person behind the words that speak out to the audience. Voice is single-handedly the most important part of writing any piece of fiction or non-fiction, because it is not only what the character is saying, but what the author itself is saying. Now, we'll begin with, next slide, with Anton Chekhov's piece, The Proposal. Now, I'm going to start with drama, because with drama, and especially in The Proposal, there is no setting, really. There is just people talking on a stage. And what you can see here is how voice, even if you were to remove the two people's names, you understand who the characters are and what they're arguing about. Especially with the minimalist set of The Proposal. And it's even more qualified with the DMV by Nick Zagan, which, a quote from Peter Elbow, is, "We can distinguish two dimensions of someone's voice, the sound of their voice and the manner or style to which they speak." Now, the DMV one is just a whole back and forth conversation, almost 1 to 2 words between the two characters, but you can understand who's asking, who it is, and who's responding. Who's asking questions, who's responding. And you start to build up a character even through this very slight responses that they're giving, with no set dressing and no anything. It's just two people standing there. And it's their voice that gives that is the whole piece to it, because that's what drama is. The entire section of drama is just the characters' voices. And that's really what it even shows conflict, because at the very end of the DMV, we see that there is conflict between the two characters, one not wanting to leave a relationship, and it's with so few words that they're able to say it. Now, I move on to nonfiction, because nonfiction is truly just the voice of the author. The voice of the author, while is seen with the author speaking, is not seen in fiction. As while the author is writing, they're a step back. They're not because the characters are the ones that are actually speaking in the work. But when it comes down to nonfiction, you need to rely on the author in order to entertain the audience. With No Wonder They Call Me a Bitch by Anne Hogman, the author is humorous. Without the author's specific voice, we would not actually be able to tell, there wouldn't be that set. Just the conveying of information wouldn't be enough to entertain the audience. Her just saying, "I ate dog food for a month," isn't funny, but her giving a detailed description of how each piece of dog food tastes is funny, because that is the author's voice and how the author is conveying that. John McPhee's piece, The Orange Trapper, is another piece, which, while it's not persuasive, it is informative, and it's incredibly dry with facts and statistics, just about a bunch of golf balls, but you get an enraptured enraptured into it. Because the author's voice is able to pull you into this world of different styles of golf balls and why they're made and what different golf balls mean. It shows how even if you're not humorous or even trying to persuade someone, the voice in a piece can still enrapture you if the author himself is writing it persuasively. In conclusion, voice is the most critical piece to any piece of writing, because without it, you're not able to actually express anything in the work. And if you do it poorly, then you're not going to actually the reader is not going to want to read what you're doing, because they either can't sympathize with the voice or they can't enjoy the voice. And that's it. And these are my citations.